Okay, it is 6:31, and it is Monday, May 9th. It is the regular school board meeting of ISD 717. We will please start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Deb Holly.
Here.
Ryan Dainert.
Here.
Sandy Burke.
Here.
Connie Hennon. Lauren Pedersen.
Here.
Sarah Lanen.
Here.
Molly Monyak.
Here.
And we have Kaylin, our student rep, with us also. Thank you. Okay, consideration of agenda. Superintendent Evenson.
We had one addition to our agenda today. We have an additional overnight field trip request that's standard for any time we have the potential overnight trip for state tournaments and such. So we have one addition.
So that will be item 8.5 on the agenda. Okay, with the change to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Lauren seconds. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider Jordan Pride Awards. Mr. Perkel, to the podium.
Right. On? Good. Thank you for having us again. It's always fun to do our Pride Awards. Tonight we have the pleasure of honoring our 4 state speech participants with our duo group actually going to perform for you this evening. So I had the pleasure of going and watching them perform at Eastview High School last month. It was awesome to be able to see all 3 groups perform. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up Coach Peters to talk a little bit more about the speech season and introduce our duo who will perform. Coach Peters.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us. As Mr. Perkel said, we had an amazing season. Our speech kids are incredible. If you ever have a chance, I encourage you to come to one of our meets. We have a varsity home meet every year and a junior high meet every year. We far exceeded my expectations as a coach this year by winning the Wright County Conference and taking first at subsections, and that is truly a tribute to 3 of our representatives here today. These 3 today all made their second trip to the state meet as well this year. Michaela is not here. She's working at the junior high track meet, helping out. She is a jack of all trades, that one. But I would be honored to present to you the 3 kiddos who are here. Elizabeth competes in serious prose. That is the category where you take a book. It could be 200 pages, 500, and you cut it down to a 10-minute section, and you perform it for your audience with the intent to draw out serious, usually sad emotions. And Connor and Autumn compete in duo. In duo, you can do a piece that is humorous, it can be serious, it can be a combination of both. Their piece this year happens to be more serious than humorous, which tends to be the trend for them. So if you guys want to come up, you are welcome to get your award. Yeah. Okay, and then Connor and Autumn can perform.
Yeah, so we'll do pride certificates. Like Coach Peters says, Michaela wasn't here. I forgot to mention, too, our first ever and only so far Wright County Conference Championship, 2021-22 speech team. So, Michaela, who is not here, Elizabeth.
Congratulations.
And Elizabeth, you performed for us last year, right?
Yes.
So anyone who was here last year, Elizabeth, you get to hear. And then Connor. And Autumn. And at this time, we're going to turn the floor over to... Oh, we got to get some good pictures first. Yes. Coach, get in there. All right. Autumn and Connor, the floor is yours.
Mothers are always giving us warnings. Sometimes I wish I would have listened a little more. Like the one, don't play with matches or you'll wet the bed. I never wet the bed, but the bottom line is there are always repercussions to everything we do. Consequences for every action. There have definitely been consequences to mine. Sometimes unbearable consequences. Intentionally setting fires is one of the top 5 leading causes of home fires, according to the National Fire Protection Association.
In this piece, Julia makes a huge mistake that will haunt her for the rest of her life.
Does she learn to live with herself, or does the constant agony tear her apart?
This is Conflagration by J.J. Jones.
I was about 14 when it happened. No one was home. I had been baking some cookies. I walked out into the garage and opened the freezer. I noticed there was something spilled out on the garage floor. Something that had leaked out. It was coming out of a metal container. I read something once about burning things off instead of waiting to let them evaporate. I know it sounds stupid, but I'd seen farmers burning off fields, and thought it might be safe enough.
Of course it's safe. Of course.
I just wanted to see if it really would work.
See it. See it. See it.
I cleared everything out of the way, and then I lit it with a match. It happened so fast, I don't even know if I remember it happened so fast. There was an explosion, and it knocked me back. I had to do something. I had to do something. No, this is not happening. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I ran back into the house and called the fire department, and then I called my dad, but the phone lines were crackling and I couldn't hear his voice. I knew I had to leave. I could hear the neighbors yelling. I could hear the sirens in the distance. I sat down there in the alley and stared at the smoke billowing darkly and ominously above the house. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was so unreal. My best friend found me.
Julia! She's here. She's okay. Come on, Julia, let's get out of here. The smoke is getting bad. They said for us to clear out back there. There might be more explosions. Do you know if your dad kept any paint or anything in the garage?
I didn't. It's my fault.
Come on, Julia, let's go.
No! It's my fault. I did this.
Julia, listen. Look, I don't know what you're talking about, but you are going to stop talking about it this minute. There are a lot of cops and firemen out there, and you can't go out there saying stuff like this. If they even think you did this, your family won't have a home, insurance won't cover it, and you are going to be in a lot of trouble. If you go out there saying something like this, you're going to put yourself in even more trouble, Julia. Do you?
The neighbors who cleaned furniture out of the house, saving as much as they could. Someone went out onto the highway to stop my mom and sister so they wouldn't have to drive off on it unprepared. My oldest sister was the first one out of the car.
Oh my God, Julia!
I know. I know.
My underwear is trashed all over the yard. Why did you pick it up? Oh my God, I am so embarrassed. Julia.
My big sister obviously had other things on her mind. I spent the night with my friend that night. We swore together we would never tell.
I swear, I'll never tell a living soul, Julia. I swear it.
For the next 26 years, we kept that a secret. It's not good to keep something burning inside of you for 26 years. I started seeing a psychiatrist.
So tell me, Julia, what did this house represent to you? What did it symbolize? Why did you hate it so much that you had to destroy it? Did you hate your father?
I don't hate my father. I didn't hate the house.
one with the enemy. Accept it. Make peace with it. Forget the past. Be free.
Yes, if this session was free, maybe that will help. $75 an hour is not liberating. Everyone I saw was more interested in why I did it or tried to get me to just forget it. No one would believe that it was just some stupid experiment that turned into a disaster. They all thought it had some deeper hidden meaning. So I went to my mom. Over the years, I felt like the fire had affected her the most. Every once in a while, she'd be looking for something, and then she would sigh. And remember, it was lost in the fire. The next Christmas, she was unpacking the ornaments to decorate the tree. I knew the time had come.
Julia, do you remember that little old Santa Claus we used to always hang on the tree first? It was tradition. It was so old and shabby that we would hide it in the back, but oh, what a pleasure it would give me. You miss that tradition? Just another tradition lost in the fire.
Mom, I have something to tell you.
Really? What is it now? Don't tell me what you got me for Christmas. I want it to be a surprise. I just love surprises on Christmas. That's the fun of it.
Well, it might be more than a surprise. It might be a shock.
Oh, Julia, you're not pregnant, are you?
I'm not pregnant, Mom!
I mean, well, I should hope not. I mean, you're not that kind of woman.
Listen to me! This is important!
Oh, right already, young lady. You don't need to get cocky with me. Just remember who you are talking to. The last time I looked, I was still your mother.
Mom, it's about the fire. The fire didn't start the way you thought it did. I set the fire. I mean, I didn't mean for it to burn down the house, but I did. It was my fault. I lit a puddle of gasoline to see if it would burn off, and it got out of control. I didn't mean any harm in it. It was a mistake. I was young and stupid and curious. It was an accident. And then there was an explosion, and the garage wall went up in flames. I tried to stop it, Mom. But it just started climbing higher and higher, and it was out of control. I couldn't tell anyone because I thought the insurance would never cover it. Every time you talk about something lost in the fire, I just hate myself. And then I go off, and it just eats at me, and I just can't take it anymore. I've kept it inside for all these years, but it won't go away, Mom. I had to tell you, I'm so sorry, Mom. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. It was all my fault, Mom. It was all my fault.
Hush, honey. Julie, you never said that, right? I know you didn't. You shouldn't even be saying stuff like this, Julia. You never said that, right?
Yes, I did, Mom. I'm telling you the truth. I said
Stop it! Stop it! Not another word. You didn't set any sort of fire, Julia. Do you understand? No! You're not the type of daughter who would do that to her mother, to her family. That's just not you, Julia, not in the least. I don't want to hear one more word about this foolishness. Julia, the kids are here.
Coming, Mom. I'll be right there. There's no such thing as an accident.
Wow. I can see why you made it to state. That was incredible. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing it with us. And kudos to your whole team, Amy. Please share with them how proud we are of them as a board and as a district. We know that to take first in the new conference is just an amazing feat. So thanks to all of you and to all your peers that worked with you too. So great job. Thank you. And thanks to the coaches. Okay. No public comment. Consent items. We have the minutes from the last the regular meeting and the special the workshop, the monthly finance reports for April. Donations, we have a lot. All of these that I'll read at first are for the Jordan Trap Team. $300 from Grand Avenue Rest Home, $200 South Metro Carpet and Upholstery, $100 Lawns Are Us, $300 Herman's Landscape Supplies, $300 Southside Electric, $100 MRP Services LLP, $100 Innovative Insurance, $300 Wolf Motors, $300 Albright Masonry, $300 A&J Outdoor Power LLC, $300 RMEF Patrick Yates, $300 Fish Lake Sportsman Club, $350 John and Jeanette Raddick, $200 Brent Radinz and Barbara Hannon, $200. $300 Omnisense LLC, $200 from the Pickled Pig, $300 from Jordan Transformer LLC. For the Jordan Band, we have $80 from Shar Sensky. Jordan Band, $500 from Aaron and Michelle Norberg. $75 from Robert and Jean Lawrence. And we have a donation of 126 office chairs from the AT&T Tower. So we have very grateful for all the wonderful donations. We have a new hire. High school custodian Alan LaCour came in at a grade 1, step 5. New hire school psychologist Iwalani Della Paz, MA 4+40, step 3. New hire middle school special ed teacher Rebecca Williams, MA +40, step 7. We have resignations of the head girls basketball coach Leah Omlid, resignation of the special ed teacher Eric Rieger, resignation of high school ed paraprofessional Alicia Angelino, non-renewals of assistant wrestling coach Chris Herman, middle school basketball coach Nick Dolan, B girls basketball coach Wade Whitcoff, C girls basketball coach Tim Benzik, varsity girls assistant girls basketball coach Andrea Nold, 8th grade boys basketball coach Rose Galbranson, 7th grade boys basketball coach OJ Luckett, first assistant speech coach Sandy Burke, and non-competitive one-act play coach Emma Lafrenzen. Contract renewals, we have Justin Reinsma. For the assistant wrestling coach, middle school wrestling coach Chad Williams, boys basketball head coach Matt Urbanek, JV boys basketball coach Eric Ritter, B boys basketball coach Yuri Melashenko, 9A boys basketball coach Tim Moorheim, 9B boys basketball coach Aaron Gorath, 7th grade boys basketball coach Tony Kuski, 8th grade boys basketball coach Aaron Lind, Nordic ski head coach Lisa Jameson, Nordic ski assistant coach Brian Jameson, speech head coach Amy Peters, first assistant speech coach Michelle Spees, second assistant speech coach Maria Olinger, competitive one-act play coach Marie Wignall, robotics head coach Joseph Hubel, robotics head coach Stephen McClellan, and winter weight room supervisor Ozzie Sand. So I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Motion to approve.
Lauren, is there a second?
Second.
Molly seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Sandy abstains. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Action, food services annual meal price. Superintendent Vinson and Amy.
Yep. Good evening, Chair Polly, members of the board. Each year, we review our annual meal prices. We take a look at market values, comparable districts, and also the costs that we have as well to provide our meal programming. Amy and Kelly will be giving you an update.
So we struggled quite a bit with this. As you all know, lunch prices have been free for since March of 2020. And we're not the only district that's going to struggle with this. And as of right now, the information that we're getting, lunches or breakfast will no longer be free. So we've done some research and we've done a lot of just looking at our food prices and things, and we understand that parents and the community is going to have a hardship. But the food items that we are ordered, we're sometimes having to get substitutes, and the food prices are rising. We are now going to be, Indian Head has told us that we're going to be charged a delivery fee. After doing some research, the average increase for food for 2023 we're figuring about a 12.13% increase for next year. And with the delivery charges, we just feel like we have to do something. We just can't eat this cost. We have done some comparisons with our surrounding districts. It's hard because they use Taher. We have our own food service department, but I've listed the prices of what they're charging, and after doing some research, the majority of those are going to raise their prices for next year. So right now, can you go to the next page, Jamie? Our lunch, our pre-K lunch is at $265, pre-K through grade 4, 5 through grade 12 is $275, and a staff lunch is $385. A student breakfast is $1.80, a staff breakfast is $2. MervSec and St. John student lunches are $305, and their staff lunches are $385. An extra entree is $2, and milk is 50 cents. So once again, we are going to encourage our families to fill out the application for educational benefits. We're going to put it online. We're going to do paper copies, do whatever we can to get the word out so that they fill that out. And probably because families are going to have to pay this year, we will have a higher participation in that. But Kelly and we would like to we believe that the lunches should be raised for pre-K through grade 4 to $280, grades 5 through 12, $3, a staff lunch would be $4.10, a student breakfast $1.90, a staff breakfast $2.25, MervSec would be raised to $3.25, a MervSec staff lunch would be $4.10, an extra entree would be $2.20, and milk would stay the same at 50 cents. That's our recommendation. And, maybe something will happen and we'll get a letter and say they're going to be free next year. But as of right now, I'm not banking on it. So.
This is like the perfect storm. I mean, your heart breaks for all families.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gone 2 years now without having to pay anything.
Yeah.
So just the fact that even if we would have gone back to the normal rate, it would have been a shock for any family feeding their kids.
Yeah.
And the increased costs with, the supply chain shortage and
Exactly,
fuel
and-
prices.
Mhm.
This is just a no-win situation, you guys. I'll open it up to discussion.
I just assume that Indian Head is charging a delivery fee because of the rising fuel costs.
Yeah, so they have, they have told us they will be doing it, they haven't implemented it quite yet, but yeah, it's a fuel charge is
That would, yeah.
what it's gonna cost us.
Yeah. And we are a member of the Minnesota Buying Group, so we do get the best prices. But even with that, we're seeing increases.
Have you factored in the probability that just by going back to charging again, that we're going to have a certain percentage of families that will that have been doing lunch that will choose not to?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We know there's going to be a drop in participation.
Yeah. Further discussion, questions?
How do we compare to districts within our conference? Versus, because you did the districts that live around here, like Belle Plaine, Shakopee, and TCU. Did I just miss it?
Those are the ones that we did. I mean, I did the areas that are surrounding us. Shakopee their elementary lunch is $2.85 and their secondary lunch is $3. And I believe that Waconia is near the same, if not a little bit higher.
And these are their current, right?
These are the
Not
current.
what they're, okay.
Yes. And when we talked to New Prague, they were currently at 275 pre-K through grade 6 and 285 for grade 7 through 12, and they are more than likely going to raise their prices as well.
I only spoke to one out of the eight or 10 districts I contacted that's not recommending an increase next year. So while their current prices still are slightly higher than ours, they're all looking at the wage increase as well.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I was looking at the breakfast and comparing it to our lunch.
Oh.
So that's why I asked the question because, and the print is, I just can't. Thank you for clarifying that because
I was also looking at it, why are we at $3.70?
That's for breakfast.
Yeah.
$3 is for lunch.
There we go, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, so now that I've read that differently.
Yeah, the increases that they are reflecting are between 10 and 25 cents.
So it looks like some schools differentiate between different levels for breakfast, but we just charge adult
Yeah,
Maggie.
and I think that's been the norm
Yep,
here.
I think it has to.
Yeah.
So are we looking to approve this now because of like communication and getting it out there or
Yes.
Amy's planning purposes? I'm just
We-
curious
we would
if,
prefer
like
to
when
get-
other schools are
Most of them,
Addressing it.
the majority of the schools are,
soon.
they're
like now.
communicating it now and they are getting the approvals now.
Some have already increased their
Yes.
prices.
Yep.
Because this will have to go into all the information that goes home to the families and.
And we want them
So-
to be able to prepare
Right,
as well.
yes. And our hope is that it will get more of them to fill out the FAPE paperwork.
Yep.
Is there anything preventing us from changing this if, well, food prices continue to escalate? I guess is that's more of my question about the
Oh,
timing.
to go up?
Yeah,
You can, so you're asking, what if we need to go up again higher?
yeah,
We would just bring that forward
Okay.
to you and it would be another motion.
got it.
Yeah, or another action item.
It's actually scary when you look at, the cost, our cost increasing 12%.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So we're not even asking, obviously, anything close to that. That wouldn't be realistic to push that along to our families. So we're gonna take a hit, with decrease in participation first. And then, of course, with the cost of everything
Right.
going so high.
Well, and it's just evident, when any one of us goes to the grocery store,
Well, and it's amazing how when, you get these substitutions for the products we typically order, they're always the more expensive substitution, right?
wow.
They rarely come in with, something more affordable.
And I feel like maybe this is the last year of our contract with them. I can't remember when we,
I believe it is with Indian Head, but there's
because it was
really,
a 2-year, wasn't it?
and there's really not a lot of options out
Options.
there.
There were some companies that weren't even taking on new
I remember that,
clients.
yeah.
And I think it's just, again, people are having trouble with their supply chain.
Well, because we switched to them, didn't we? Relatively recently? No? Was it-
I think they were here before I came.
Okay.
It was
No, we've
maybe
had
like-
them for a long time.
Oh,
shortly
there was
after I came.
conversations about, I
Yes.
think, fulfillment and performance, okay.
Yeah.
Back in COVID, yes,
Yeah.
when they were having trouble
Yes.
getting the supplies and stuff here. but-
And I think right now all of the suppliers are struggling.
Mhm.
And we didn't want to raise it too drastically. We wanted to be fair to our families too, that, we still want participation. We want to make it something they can afford.
I know, Deb, to your point,
Yeah, it's,
even just having them pay, even if without raising. is
Right.
going to be-
Yes.
yeah. But on the other hand, we have to stay
Yeah.
afloat also, and, I know you run a really lean program already in the kitchen and do a very great job of efficiency and being very conscious of of costs, staff-wise, and food costs.
And then knowing that we're not doing a 12% increase
Mm-hmm,
to cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Further discussion?
What's our free and reduced percentage?
It's pretty low. It's more, maybe like around 17%, something like that.
And I
But
think,
for the past 2 years, we've had very minimal participation.
yeah, pre-COVID,
Yeah.
do you remember what we were, free and reduced?
Ours has
I
never
don't.
been, I mean, in our community, I would say maybe 20% max. It's, I would have to look back, but.
Okay.
I've only been here since COVID.
Right.
But
Okay, further discussion, otherwise I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion, I presume,
Motion to approve the pricing as presented for 2022, 2023 school year?
okay. We have a motion to approve the price increases for the 22-23 school year. Is there a second?
Second.
Lauren seconds, thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item, thank you.
I'm just staying up here.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. I do want the public to know that this was certainly not an easy decision on the part of the board or on the part of administration or the food services program, but, you know, it's the reality of the world that we're living in, so hopefully the public will understand. Okay, on to item 8.2, the land rental agreement update.
So, Tim has talked to our renter, and I believe it's Bauer Brothers, just for the farmland. And we're going to raise the price per acre to $275 per acre. It hasn't changed since we purchased the land in 2017. And Tim talked to Bauer Brothers and said they are good with us increasing the land rent to $275 per acre. And the acreage is listed at 28 acres. And this lease will be renewed again on April 1st, 2023, if there are no changes made at this time. And so I've attached the lease, but otherwise it's just a motion to approve the rent price for the land.
I'll entertain a motion, then we can discuss.
So moved.
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Connie. Okay, questions or discussion?
I might have missed it, but how much was it previously per acre?
$225 per acre. So we raised it $50 per acre.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the land rental agreement with Bauer Brothers signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Field trip request, Ms. Peters, I believe.
Hello. You probably thought you wouldn't see me for another year and a half, but as you know, last year we ended up postponing our Washington D.C. trip due to everything happening. But typically we go every other year. What ended up happening this year is it put us on the same schedule as the band and choir trip. So what I heard from a lot of families was that, well, we can't do both at the same time. So my proposal is that we would get back on our every other year trip on odd years. So it would be, we'd go again next March, and then we'd go again in 2025. So the details are in the proposal here, or the request. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the age group that's going?
So it would be this year's current, it would be offered to this year's current 8th graders and current 9th graders. So they would attend as 9th and 10th graders. There would be, I would propose that we would offer it also to students who missed it as a result of, just concerns with traveling this spring, or that the band and choir trip took precedence and they'd like to go. In that case, those students, if they were older, I would have those students room together. Yeah.
So do you feel you have enough time for fundraising?
Yeah, we don't really do any fundraising. There are options through the company that we use. World Strides is the company. They have scholarship opportunities that families can apply for. And so they're always encouraged to apply for those scholarships. And then they do kind of their own fundraising, which is called the Gift of Education. And so it's just where they can send information out, like it's in a link format, to families who can contribute finances towards their trip. But we don't do any selling of items or anything for the trip.
And you feel that the proposed cost, considering the way everything is escalating, that, are they holding firm to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so that will not change. They're committing to that price. So that
Okay.
includes airfare, bus transportation. They pick us up here at the school, transport us to the airport, and then all our bus transportation while we're in the DC area too.
It's a good deal.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah. 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 It's a lot of fun. We didn't have the greatest weather while we were there this spring. We did get to see the cherry blossoms in full bloom. It was beautiful, but we had pretty chilly weather. You never know with spring.
Hey, we did back here too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposed trip to DC for March of 2023. Connie, is there a second?
Second.
Lauren, okay, further questions or discussion?
Ms. Peters, just so they know that all the entry fees are all included in
Yeah.
the Smithsonian and all those places.
Yep.
that we got to see.
Yeah, yep. So everything in the cost of the trip is included. As a group, if they decide they'd like to do something, so there are some additional things. So it would be just as a group if they'd like to do it. Sometimes it's like a $9 fee to get into a specific museum. All the Smithsonians are free of cost. We did get to see this year the Air and Space Museum that's on the Washington Mall. It's open, but most of it was closed for renovations. So there's another Air and Space Museum. I don't know if people know it. I didn't even know this, and it's out by Dulles Airport. And it is fantastic. So if you're ever in the area, it's absolutely incredible. We were all just kind of geeking out at this museum because you could like see the spacesuit and touch a spacesuit and go all of these planes from all eras of flight history. It was incredible.
Wow, great, exciting. Good.
How many adults, chaperones do you envision I'm needing? I just was trying to eyeball it and it didn't catch my eye.
Yeah, so the travel company that we use, once we hit 30 students or travelers, then they will pay for another staff member chaperone to attend. Parents are always welcome to attend, not necessarily in a chaperone level, but yeah, over 30, we'd have another chaperone attend.
That's not a Jordan community member, it's by the company.
No, a Jordan community member, a staff member.
Okay.
Jordan staff member, sorry.
Jordan
Yeah,
staff member,
Jordan staff
okay.
member, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Further questions or comments?
You don't have to stay up all night. It's the best trip.
Yep. Yeah. They have like a supervisor, or I should say like a night supervisor that sits outside, so our block of rooms. And so yeah, the kids have always been great. We've never had an issue, but yeah, they sit up all night long out in the hall. So, yeah. Peace of mind.
Great, good. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Thank you so much. Okay, next we have 8.4, 2022 graduating senior list. The list is included in our board book, and we will be voting on this list, but I just want to be clear that the vote you will be taking will be pending that all of these students meet the requirements, graduation requirements. So if there are students that do not meet the requirements, they are not getting our vote of approval for graduation. Does that make sense? Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the graduating senior list.
Motion to approve.
Lauren, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Molly. Okay, questions, discussion?
What's the total count?
132, I counted for you.
Thank you.
Gonna ask that.
Yes. Good, we have a motion and a second to approve the graduating seniors pending meeting all graduation requirements. Further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, 8.5 track trip request. Mr. Pickle.
So this is similar to what we've done with other teams or individual sports where we've had participants qualify for the state tournaments. Typically tracks at Hamlin University. It has shifted since they've gone to a 3-class system to St. Michael Albertville, a little further away. So coach would like to do an overnight trip, be able to stay closer to the track up in St. Michael Albertville. This would not be district dollars, booster dollars, I believe, is how we would fund that, similar to Scott West Wrestling when they go on some of their trips as well. So I don't know if we're always going to have track. We typically have a few compete at the state level. I don't know if it'll continue to be at St. Michael Albertville. I know Hamlin was pretty tight with the pandemic, plus going to a 3-class system has made it more of a challenge. So any questions on this request? Again, we don't have numbers. It's kind of a guess. We don't have sections for another 2 weeks, so we won't know if or who qualifies.
I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Sarah seconds. I'm just grateful that it's not on graduation night.
Yeah, well, we've
Which
got a
has
couple
happened
other
in the
sports
past.
We're going to battle with, yeah. Yes, that's all I'll say. Yeah. There's some other sections.
Sections and stuff.
Section softball got word out in February that we had graduation that night and nothing changed. So
Okay,
we're fighting that one a little bit today.
okay.
One
Good.
thing, maybe not for tonight or anything, but to consider for state meets, just not knowing if there's maybe a workshop session we can chat about potentially not having to approve. This was new for Coach Nylander.
Sure.
He got it in very last minute. I told him I'd throw him under the bus tonight because he turned it in today.
Okay.
But these type of trips, not knowing, is it something I just kind of blanket every August? Or is it something maybe we just look at and say, if we compete for state, we understand there could be an overnight component? Something to think about, not tonight,
Sure.
but another time.
Sure, we'll put that on the discussion thing. Renee, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joe. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Superintendent, okay, the reports. Superintendent Evenson?
All right, good evening. Tonight, I have just a couple of topics that I wanted to provide an update for the board and community on. I hope that no one has missed that we are deep in the process of strategic planning. And today was a pretty exciting day for us. It started for many of us well before 7 a.m. and we held our first listening session this morning at 7. And we communicated with staff, with students, with community members, with board members and leadership, really all throughout the day. And we have partnered with MSBA. Gail Gilman has been our facilitator, and we have really placed a high priority and value on getting input and feedback to inform our process with strategic planning. So we have two opportunities, two types of opportunities. The first one was the survey that we have internal and external surveys that were sent out on April 27th. If anyone has not filled out that survey, please do so. It's open until May 12th. So we really want to hear every voice that we can just to help inform our process. Additionally, I would share that we've had really great response to our surveys. We have, I think they said over 80 internal surveys received and over 371 external surveys received. And typically for us, we hope to get at least 200 responses. So I feel really, really good about the response rate that we have. And then knowing we've got a couple of more days that we can get people to share their thoughts with us. Also today, as I shared, we held listening sessions. That was a time for us to listen to our community members as they shared their information with us and their thoughts about how we might move forward as a district. It's centered around really three major themes. What do you see as the positives for our district? What do you see as some opportunities for growth in our district? And then what would you like to see in terms of innovation? What are your thoughts and ideas moving forward? So really positive day, really invigorating. We will be taking all of that information. MSBA will provide us with a report. The report will be made public as well, so anyone can take a look at that input and feedback. The next phase of that process, so we're in the outreach, input and outreach portion of the process. The next phase will be really strategic planning. So we have been mapping out really 3 evenings that we will be meeting with a smaller committee. The makeup of that committee will include some community members, some staff members, some students, some leadership, and of course the board. And on those 3 evenings, we will meet and take a look at our current strategic plan. We'll be making some updates to that plan, revising that plan based on the feedback that we receive. And another part of this as well is alignment. That'll be the third phase. So you'll notice that we have a really, really busy May into June, and it's going to take us all the way to June 27th, and that's where we really look to align board goals and the superintendent's goals to help us really operationalize and bring this plan to life. So I want to thank our community members that were able to take time, our staff members. We had students that were just incredible today. So well spoken and articulate about how they view our district. It was a great day. So also thank you to the board. I know that this is a really, really busy time. The next piece of my report, which is as presented, I won't go through it, but we have a list of amazing events happening in our district, and it's not even a comprehensive list. There are so many things happening in May, and so balancing that, plus we have several board members with kids graduating, and we all have different obligations, but I want to thank you for your dedication at this time with this process. The other piece I just want to say is May is a really good time for appreciation. We have several appreciation days. We had Principal Appreciation Day, we had staff like Teacher Appreciation Day, School Lunch Hero Day, and then School Nurse Appreciation is actually on Wednesday. And so I just want to take a moment to publicly thank our staff members. We have the best in the business, and it is a pleasure every day to see what our staff can do to support our kids and our community. So thank you to them. Do you have any questions?
Great, thank you. Okay, then we have the attached reports from our high school principal on down. Any comments or questions on any of the other administrative reports? I just want to give a shout out to Stephen and Community Ed, the free dental or the dental clinic that they're offering here, and then the free Thursday new family event to get families feeling welcome here are just, I think, really super great ideas. So that's really happy to see that. Kids Company full.
Yeah, we are actually feeling really positively about the level of engagement. So that's really good. That's all I'll say about that right at this moment.
Is that contingent on shortage of hiring staff, or can they take more, or is it a space issue?
Well, it's complicated. Definitely there are space considerations, but also staffing is a consideration as well.
Okay.
But short of, verifying every last detail with those that are in charge of it, I'd hate to speak on their behalf.
Sure. Any other comments or questions on any of the administrative reports? Okay, then we will turn to, I'm going to shake this up a little bit. I'm going to jump around. School board member reports. Sarah, we'll start with you.
Perfect. Booster Medics last month, we're actually meeting Sunday this month because of schedules and all activities going on. Normally we meet on Wednesdays, pop concert, so, and they really want to make sure to meet because they'll be voting in board members, will be stepping away at that time. Just one call out, I know we've all seen communication, but school store is closing. So
right, thank you. Lauren, did community ed, they didn't meet, did they?
No, they didn't meet, but we have a meeting scheduled. Stephen just emailed me to see if I could attend it, and I could. I just don't have the date off the top of my head.
Okay, that would be you and Sarah.
Yeah,
Hang on. I think it was a date that you declined, maybe. Hang on, let me check my email.
Okay, while you're doing that, we'll move on. Curriculum and technology, Connie, Sandy, myself. Want to jump in there?
It was a fun meeting.
It's always a good meeting.
We got to dream and go through things that we wanted, or that we thought were working, or how we could enhance them and whatever. Sandy, can you share with us?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I mean, we divided up into groups of, was it 3 or 4? And we each we went around and wrote down, we had different tasks that we wanted to accomplish in terms of what, things that we wanted to dream about. And then you got to go around and then do a gallery walk to see what everybody else had written, and then you could add it to your poster too. And then they collected them all at the end, and I'm assuming that we'll be doing something with that at some point, but it's always one of my favorite meetings of the year because you get to dream and think about what could be, so.
Great. Let's see, and we had the city school meeting, great meeting. The city shared a lot about the plans that they have going on. There's 381 homes going in this paper property over here over a 6-year period. They're planning on building 55 units or 55 homes per year. I believe they're starting in the far southwest corner. Is that right? Or south?
It's over here by,
Northwest
I feel
corner.
that's switched, yeah.
Is it northwest?
Yeah, I think it's.
Okay. And some of them will be twin homes on grade, on slab, I believe, so. 55 units per year for the next 6 years for a total of approximately 381 homes, so. And then I believe the city approved it, the 72-unit apartment complex down by the second Brentwood building, down by the town liquor store back in there. And that is going to be, it's not senior housing, it's not subsidized housing.
Market rate.
Pardon?
Market rate.
Market
Yeah.
rate housing. So that'll be
Apartments, or do you buy them?
Apartments.
rental.
and they had from studio to 3-bedroom.
So again, both of those things could bring kids into our district, so. And trust me, there's a huge need for housing. Man, the calls I get at work, families looking for housing, is just affordable housing, or just housing, so. The tap room, down by the tap room, they're gonna be doing an overpass there. That should be completed by 2024. In September of 2024, the interchange down here, they're projecting that will start. There will be a roundabout at 66 and 21. Is that the one this year?
I don't think it's this year because they're doing the 13 work.
The
I think they
13.
have to wait till next year. But I
Okay.
can't remember. I think it's next summer, yeah. Yeah.
And then the one by, going to Matt's house. Is that the
That's
the one.
following?
That's
Oh,
it.
that's the
That's
one.
66
That
and
is the one.
20.
Okay. I don't know, anything else, Lauren?
No, I think you covered everything.
The only thing I'd mention about the interchange project is they've received funding for a pedestrian walkway now to connect underneath 169, which will be a
Oh.
big deal for
Yeah.
kids, routes to
Huge.
school, that sort of thing.
That is
I think-
a huge blessing, because the number of kids people, not
Yeah.
only kids, that cross the highway just scares the living tar out of me.
So I think that's federal funding for a little over $1 million for
Yep.
the underpass.
And I would just add 2 more things. I
Yep.
think they also mentioned by the yard. I think there will be an overpass
Yes.
there as well. And they also mentioned that the city is in the process of also working on their strategic plan. And it was kind of an exciting conversation knowing that we are also doing that work. and talked about the intentionality and the importance of the partnership between the school and the city in that work. So it was a great meeting.
Because we did bring up, the traffic situation with additional housing there, and it's already busy up here, so great collaboration. It
Yep.
was a very, very positive meeting. So, any questions? Facilities is meeting the 24th. Meet and confer didn't happen. Negotiations, we're working on that.
We're negotiating dates.
We're negotiating dates, yeah. So that'll happen soon. Legislation, let's see. Today was an advocacy day. They had a big press conference at the Capitol that involved AMSD, MSBA, Ed Minnesota, the special ed group, just a whole conglomeration of organizations all advocating for funding for the IDEA Act to get funding for the special ed dollars. So very positive press conference. You can go on to the MSBA site and see the link. Great presentation. So we are approximately a week and a half out to May 23rd is the last day of session. The omnibus bills have gone to committee from the House and the Senate, and the House and the Senate committee members have been chosen. There's 5 from each party. And so those 10 people will be meeting jointly between now and midnight on May 23rd, hashing out the Senate bill and the House of Representatives bill. So we'll see where that goes. Possibility that they might come out with nothing. This is not a funding year. This is, a policy year, so they do not have to pass anything. So, and the governor has made it clear that there will be no special session this year. So, student data piece has been a pretty big piece legislatively. Do you want to talk to that?
Absolutely. So I guess the easiest way to characterize it is there has been ongoing conversation really for a long time on how do we best navigate and protect student data. And as you're well aware, your experienced board members, you know that that's our top priority in our school district, and that's not unique to Jordan. But there has been some legislation offered up on both sides that really looking at having families be able to opt out of certain student data pieces for school districts. That is really shocking and almost incomprehensible how that would even work in terms of how do you even do that and not have students in your student information system? Are there transcripts on paper and pencil? What does that look like? There was some movement last week where there is some conversation where they are hopefully moving away from some of that language, but putting more pressure on technology companies, which fine, absolutely. Tighten up everything you want to do. Stephen and I have had a great deal of conversation about that and some of the ramifications, but nobody could actually speak to how that would even look in a school district if there was the opt-out. What does that mean for special education? How do they do SPED forms? How do you do report cards? How do you send families communication through email? Like it's no one can imagine how that would even work. So it's looking better. And we're all fine with putting as much pressure as you want on technology companies to make sure that they are doing every latest thing that they can to protect the privacy of our student data. But very interesting time.
Another piece to keep your eye on is the unemployment piece bill, which would be a unbelievably huge hit to districts if that would go through.
Yeah, and I did put a little note of, maybe that was in the weekly update that none of you got on Friday. I think it might have been, or it was the week before. I can't remember anymore, but yes, the conversation around that, that would look like potentially like 10-month employees. So maybe like a food service staff member that only works during the school year, having the ability to, access unemployment funds. So that would be a cost, local cost, to the district, obviously. And so there's a lot of conversation around that. There was also some legislation that talked about even for the first year, maybe helping subsidize that, but then after that, it would be a district cost. There's also conversation about maybe it's a local decision. Well, then you're pitting district against district. Who can afford to do that, who can't, and those are going to be the ones they're going to want to apply to. So it's something to keep an eye on. It would financially impact school districts in a way that I think is even unknown right now.
And I'm not sure if that's actually in the omnibus bill. I didn't read the bill today, but I'm not sure if if it's in it or not, but.
Yeah, I haven't looked since
Yeah.
late last week, but it's something to keep an eye on.
So the next 2 weeks will be very interesting legislatively, so. MSHSL, next, is it this week or the beginning of next week? They're gonna be voting again for the third time on boys volleyball. It has failed the other 2 times. Seems to be gaining some momentum, and there's a lot of pressure on the league to approve it. At the 2AA level that I'm on, and at the athletic directors and the different groups have opposed it, mainly because it would decimate our numbers for whichever season it ends up going into. If it's fall or spring, they feel that it would decimate some of our numbers. And if it's in the use of facilities and stuff plays into it, not having enough of that. But it's got a movement. I mean, there's a lot of kids that it's getting more and more. And actually, 2 of the gals that are heading up this movement are from Shakopee School District, and they're go-getters. So they've been running this statewide, I believe, as a club league, and they've been putting a lot of pressure. Their group has been putting a lot of pressure. Pardon? It is, yes, it
I'm
is.
assuming, it'd be opt-in by school, right, as to whether you were, choosing to offer it.
Right.
It just seems weird that there would be opposition, especially when MSHL could welcome any state tournament or revenue stream.
Well, and that was the other piece, though, is MSHSL having the place to and the funds
facilities
to
to run
do
the
state
tournament.
tournaments. Because, we have agreements with Target Center and with the U of M and with the Excel Center for so many days a year for the ones that we do get. So it would be huge cost to the league, and they're already,
There seems to be a palace in Shakopee with about 20 basketball courts. That could
yeah.
host a state tournament.
Yeah, there you go. So that'll be interesting, but that vote, I believe, I think they meet either tomorrow or next Tuesday, I think. So keep your eye out for that. Scale?
I found the invitation in my spam, so I realized it happened.
I did not attend on Friday.
Okay.
And I think ironically, the subject matter was getting more participation from schools. I heard that from the mayor, so.
Uh-oh.
In my defense, I was on my way to the Athena Award banquet.
I told them if you can figure out how to get it out of my spam and in my regular email, I will
Yes.
attend. And as, it sounds like it happens
Yeah,
to-
Stephen has tried a ton, even in my email.
I mean,
It just is always in spam.
It's a constant contact thing, so it's like it says that it's from Scott County on the email address, but it looks like it's coming from a listserv thing, so I'm sure that's the issue,
Yeah.
but anyways,
Are other schools having issues with that?
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that Stephen has tried for 2 years to get it. So.
Yeah, with better effort on my part, I probably could either submit an alternate email or look on their website, but I'll work on that.
Okay. Okay, SEAC, you didn't meet, did you, SEAC? Connie?
No.
Okay. Southwest Metro, really nothing too much new there. They're still looking for an alternative level 4 site in the Carver County area. They're working on that. Just doing planning for next year. There's some turnover there of staff. They hired Pat Devine from former Soup from Laconia to be involved with the C program, their online program. trying to think, Mr. Van Horn is resigned, he's going to, back to Iowa. So they're looking to fill his position. Otherwise, I don't think there's too much going on there.
No, those are otherwise, it's relatively quiet. It's really been those topics.
There's a lot of lot of graduations coming up there. In fact, the SOAR program that we do jointly with Belle Plaine, I think we have 4 students that are graduating. So we'll make sure that you all get the invitation to that graduation. It would really be good to support those special ed kids.
Do you know when that is?
I feel like I got the invitation already. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
And I can put it out there. I went last year and it was so fun. I mean, it was very informal. Picnic shelter, in the park in Belle Plaine. But the families of the kids were there and they give them their certificates and they had ice cream sundaes and you got to visit with the kids and
They're
the
so
family.
proud.
It was very
They're
informal but lovely. Yep.
We will
Yeah, I think
We
I got
will
invited already. I'll look.
forward that on. Okay, Booster Club we did, what are we missing? APAC.
I attended part of the meeting, but the Wi-Fi cut out, and I was kicked out of the meeting. So basically, that was the week before the banquet, and so it was a lot of planning about the banquet. And the banquet was last Wednesday, and I know a few of us attended, and it was phenomenal. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. They honor all of the kids, get up and read very positive things about them. They did the eagle feather ceremony and a smudging, and then they did drumming, and 2 of the kids, the middle school kids, participated. It was awesome, and then one young lady got up and sang, and that was beautiful. So, and I'm looking forward to hearing it again because it was really awesome. So, if anybody gets the chance to go again next year, I highly encourage it. It's a great evening. So.
Yeah, one family provided traditional food, Native American food for supper. And probably the most moving thing for me was how our Native kids take pride in their culture and their history. And the gal, I believe she's a junior, that got up and sang in her native tongue that her father had taught her in her native, not a dry eye. I mean, it was powerful, absolutely powerful, so.
I thought it was interesting when they said their mission was to connect with other Native, because we don't know who they are, and they don't look the same as us. And so that was kind of that bringing us together story was pretty cool, I thought. And I thought everything was, there was a cake decorated by the Little Walkington that was beautiful, and the food was fabulous, and there was a lot of pride. It was very, very prideful night. So that was Chad and Sarah and the board does an awesome job, and they're looking for new board members. So that is something to put the word out if you have of that heritage.
Yeah. And I believe you have to have a current student in order to be a voting member.
Yes.
So that's important, because one of the people who is going off does not, her son is graduating, so, and that's her youngest, so there's one person?
Yep. And I think as well, just to mention, I think it's worth mentioning that we will have student membership coming forward in the future. So we're really excited about that as well. That'll be new for that.
Are they able to vote, or are they?
I don't believe they're voting
don't think
members.
they are. So we definitely need voting members.
I thought it was interesting to listen to the older people talk about how proud they are to the younger people, and even the men that come to teach the drumming on a monthly basis in Jordan, how proud they are of our community for them being accepted, the kids being accepted in the school, and how it's cool to be a drummer. It's cool to share your heritage. So it was a really eye-opening evening. It was very, very well put together. It was a good job.
Very nice, yes. Okay, believe that's it for committees. So,
Education.
oh, yeah, whoops, I missed that, I'm sorry.
We met and I did get to see one of the I'm Proud My Child's a Senior sign on the airport road. I think they sold 38 signs so far. And so that was a first time for that. Grams were due today, so they should be getting put together to get out to the seniors. They talked about doing some kind of a winter activity, and they were thinking about doing something that would get involved, like do it at Brentwood or something maybe at the Shula House or whatever, to get to let the people know what the foundation is about. And it could be a bingo. We talked about a wine night. We talked about a card game night or something. But we thought we could go to them and involve them, and so that they would know. So that's kind of something just in the works. Anything more?
Just trying to look here, anything else in there?
Getting things in the folders for the teacher workshop and the open houses about the foundation, if that's something that we could do in the future. And we have two people that are giving on a monthly basis to the foundation, I think.
3.
Of staff, 3?
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of we're started.
Yeah, and Tina Medic, her vice president term comes to an end July 19th. So they are trying to recruit new faces to the team. So if anybody knows anybody wants to join the Education Foundation, they are looking for new people. I think that's all.
Great. Unless we're almost to Hyman Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Great. We're in summer yet. We're not almost done.
Well, we just have graduation. We think ahead.
We're gonna blank and it will be.
Yes. Kaylin, how about if we start with you for a report?
It's been really busy at the high school. So prom was on Saturday. So it was really cool to be able to go to that. So there's a band concert Wednesday night, and the Jordan Band is trying something new they call it Pasta and Pops. So they've got a couple ensembles that have way too much music. So starting at about 4:30 to about 6:30 p.m. On Wednesday, so before the concert, it's going to be kind of informal music, and you can show up to actually eat some pasta, like pasta and salads, and it's actually a fundraiser for new uniforms.
Fine.
So that'll be Wednesday night.
Awesome.
We have had more of the intervention and reward and intervention days. So we had one 2 Wednesdays ago, and then we'll have one on Wednesday this week as well. Those have actually been really, really helpful. Just a lot of students use it to take tests or retake tests, so that's been really helpful for them. The high school play was this weekend, and that was a big success for them. There's been a lot of testing at the high school, so juniors took the ACT, actually already have their scores back, and then sophomores took the MCA reading and science, and juniors took the MCA math. And then last Monday, AP chemistry took the AP Chem exam. Friday, AP US history took the AP US history exam, and then this Thursday, AP World will take the AP exam.
Wow. Busy.
Scheduler in your day.
Fun. So do you know what time they're going to start serving the pasta?
4:30.
4:30 a.m.
4:30? That is a great idea. I love it.
It's a good fundraiser.
Fun. Fun. Thank you, Caitlin. Molly.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Sarah?
I just love that you just said the intervention on Wednesdays. I think it's something, I know Jeff had talked about it, trying this out, and let's look to see if it's expanded into next year. And I know just for a kiddo who's having a kiddo in track, and they're getting out at 1:50 from for these meetings, and using these Wednesdays to make up the tests and make up what they're missing is huge, instead of having to try to do it before school or after school. So I love that people are utilizing that,
been here all year.
Yeah.
Twice a month.
Yeah. But you're right.
And multiple
Seems like-
meetings.
Thanks, Sarah. Lauren?
I went to the play on Sunday. It was really good. It was funny. The timing they have of their one lines and just dropping it at the right time, it's really good. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. Looking forward to graduation in 2 weeks. Super excited for the seniors. Super happy for them. Send them off to college or whatever their next chapter is in this wonderful life they have. Congratulations as well to the Jordan track kids who set records, new school records, and congratulations to Abby Vogel. You just went off and did the Athena Awards for her, so kudos to her and an achievement well deserved. I think that's it.
Great, thank you. Connie?
I'm just living the dream. I'm just glad my grad-gramps are gone. And look, I kind of look forward to putting them together. I missed last year. This Wednesday will be my 1 year from my stroke, so thanks for everybody for sticking with me. It's been a good year. And so I hope I get to help put them together. And I'm really, really proud of the kids that have achieved school records, because I know if you're a student athlete or student performer, that's a big thing to accomplish that. So I'm very proud of them. So I'm just looking forward to sunshine and an outside commencement, and I think it's going to be great.
Sandy?
I just echo a lot of what everyone else has said, but I do want to give special shout out to our state speech participants, and kudos to Connor and Autumn for an amazing performance. I had seen it about a month ago, and it had changed a lot. They'd done a lot of work on it before they went to state, and so it was amazing. So I'm very, very proud of them. The band, I believe it's $10 a person for the pasta and pops dinner. I think part of also the reason why it sounded like it was started is that it's a busy night for band families to get everything done, and so this way they can come and not have to worry about dinner and just enjoy some music. My kid is in pretty much from 4:30 to 6:30, so we'll be there quite a while. And I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, the play, of course, this weekend. I went to every performance. Very emotional, obviously, and so, but they did a great job, and I just wish all of the seniors the best on their journeys forward. I know of at least 2, I am guessing 3, are going on and will be continuing to do theater in college as well. So I wanted to clarify, though, the fine arts signing ceremony. In Joe Perkle's report tonight, it said that it was supposed to be tonight, but I believe that it's the 23rd, so.
It is. My report reflects.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that there was a shift in the dates.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
My 8th grader came home on Friday raving about the career day, so I just want to thank the staff that put that together and the community members that took time out of their day to come and talk with the kids about what they do.
Great. banquet was phenomenal. Middle school play was super fun and just a great play. They did a great, great job. High school play was awesome. Enjoyed all of it. Congrats to Abby Vogel. Awards night is the 16th for the juniors and seniors, I believe, at 8 p.m. End of the year breakfast, make sure you all have that on your calendar. It will be June 3rd, and I believe it's at 7:30, but if the board could be there a little bit early to hold the door and greet them and thank them for the year and stuff, that would be wonderful. And I believe they're gonna be focusing mainly on the retirees at the, what are you looking, Connie?
I'm looking at Renee. Is it confirmed that the foundation is paying for the breakfast?
No. No. Yeah, no, different, that's a different event. Yep.
Yeah, so June
Yep.
3rd, breakfast, and, yeah, we'll be doing giving them their years of service awards and honoring the retirees, so hopefully you'll all be able to make that.
It's probably going to keep me from scale.
Pardon?
I said it's probably going to keep me from scale.
Right. it starts at 7:30, so like if we're there at 20 after, I'd
Yeah.
say would be fine.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I'm sorry, that breakfast is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It
I love
is.
going and greeting the teachers and things like that, so I like it.
And Kelly has shifted up the menu. I think this year we're doing tachos and all kinds of yummy things, so.
Good. I did find the date for the SOAR graduation. It's May 26th. I don't have the time, but it is May 26th. Hopefully you all got any requests for Pops tickets for the choir concerts. Other than that, I believe